Hello, everyone. What a great turnout. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hey guys.
Hi, Jeff. If you're new here, I'm Rebecca Barron, the Director of Operations at Autism Tree. Sorry, we started a little late. We were having a little technical difficulties, but we figured it out. So thanks for your patience. Um, I am very thrilled to welcome all of you to our Lunch and Learn. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. We have a couple Zoom rules that we share with everyone. Hold on one sec, my computer's loading. Okay, perfect. So a couple Zoom rules. Please mute yourself. If you're not speaking, we recommend speaker view for presentation. Video sharing is optional, though we love to see your smiling faces, especially at the end where we will have a Q&A and also possibly even during our guest speaker. It's totally up to them if they want to interact with you guys. So you are welcome to unmute yourself as prompted, and also type any questions or comments into the chat. You're welcome. We love seeing people's interactions, and I will keep an eye out and ask any questions to our guest speakers if you so would like to share. Okay, a quick update from Autism Tree. We now have 531 brand new families who have come into the fold of Autism Tree since January 1st of this year, which is a record for us. All of last year, from January to December, we did intakes on 560 families, and we're already at 90% of that, which is mind-blowing, and we're only in September. So welcome to all of our new families. Thank you for joining. Autism Tree offers 20 programs, as you may know. 9 are in person, 7 are hybrid, 4 are virtual. We serve the whole family. It's all about those opportunities to connect with other families and get your family out in the community, connecting your kid, letting those kids be themselves at our fun programs. We have 16 upcoming events just this month in September. And we constantly add new events all the time, so you should follow us on social media if you don't already. Events this week, we have our Project Sunshine partnership, our Here to Play workshop, which is in person this Saturday. These are all available to, you can register online at our events calendar on our website. All of our events are free to attend. You just have to RSVP. We have our adaptive dance class, which also just started back up. It's a brand new fall session. We extended the age group. So now we're serving 13 through 24 teenagers who would like to come to our adaptive dance. All kids or all teenagers are welcome, and young adults. We also have our first USD football home game for Autism Tree families this Saturday. I'm very excited. It's our first one of the season. So if you're paired with a kid, if your family's already paired with a kid, you attended our meet and greet, you're welcome to come out. Also, if you're interested in pairing your child or family with a athletic mentor, a football mentor for the whole season, you're welcome to join. Just sign up and we can get you connected and send you all the home games for this season. We have 553 impact videos on our YouTube channel, and 131 of those lunch and learns are uploaded on our YouTube. So you can always refer back to those if you miss a lunch and learn or you're looking for more resources. We have a lot uploaded on our YouTube page. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Dana Hoff, our co-founder and executive director. She'll give a quick update and introduce the CalABLE team.
Hi, everybody. It's wonderful to be here together. I can't help but feel a lot of emotion about this being our 132nd Lunch and Learn in our 20th year. And it just feels like there's a lot to celebrate with you. And I really am excited. There's a surprise visitor on here, Dante, that I want to introduce you and Madeline to, who is a board member for our foundation. And I did not know Laura was going to be on here, but I would be remiss, Laura, if I didn't take a moment to say, one, thank you for being here, and two, Thank you for all that you are doing right now for Autism Tree. Laura's company is our longest running community partner. We simply would not do all the work we do in the Bay Area without their support these last 20 years. They're getting ready to do a fundraiser a week from today in the Bay Area. It's going to be a comedy night. So we record our lunch and learns and then we send them out. So we will put that in the follow-up with it. We'll put that information about the comedy night next Wednesday. We're also doing a parent mentor event in person in the Bay Area that Laura is helping coordinate. She is our liaison to all the parents up there, and she also has two beautiful daughters with autism. If we can take a minute, I just really would like Laura to be able to say hi to you all and say what a great turnout today, and then I'll come back and say a couple things about Dante and CalABLE too. But I want Dante, I'd very much like you to meet Laura Bonafide Odom, and I would like everyone to meet her. Hi, Laura, are you there?
I'm here. I'm at my gym, so I'm sorry if you hear background music.
That's okay.
How are you? Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, I'm really excited about this event next week in San Jose. We're getting up there in numbers, so we're stoked. It's going to be a great event.
Wonderful. Well, Laura, tell everyone how old your girls are really quick, and just anything else you want about you since you're here. I just I'm excited to have
Yeah,
everyone
no
know you.
problem. Well, I have 4 kids altogether, but I had triplets as well, but 2 of my triplets have autism and they are 20 and their names are Jessica and Taylor and they're identical twin girls. So they are sweet, sweet girls and they're a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Laura. We're looking forward to next week with you. And I'm excited for you to meet Dante and his team at CalABLE, Laura. I don't know if you can
All
bring
right.
me back up on the screen or not, Rebecca. Yeah, CalABLE has been a wonderful partner to Autism Tree. And Dante, you can see our reach is growing together from where we started. And I feel really blessed by that. And just, I think the knowledge and the hard work that you and your team have put forward on everything that can benefit our families is really evident just right now in this Lunch and Learn together. So without much more talking, I want to just say thank you so much for all the support you give our Autism Tree families and the larger global community of people that have special needs. I think it's tremendous what you're doing, and I'm always rooting for you to end up in DC as well. As you know, I'm a fan. So it's with my honor that you guys all get to meet Dante Allen. He's the executive director of CalABLE. Thanks for being here, Dante.
Thank you, Dana, and thank you to Autism Tree. I'm really happy to be with you all this afternoon. So glad to make a visit. If you're a regular attendee of Lunch and Learns, you may have seen either me personally or someone from my team that's presented in the past about CalABLE. And so I wanted to number one, refresh your memory if you've seen this before, or introduce the program to you and tell you about a few things that have changed. I'm a really big fan of Autism Tree. I love what you all are doing, and have actually had the opportunity to come down to San Diego and met with Dana in person. And what Dana was referring to about me being in DC. I've been nominated for a position in the federal administration to go to DC and join them. I'm awaiting Senate confirmation. It's a process that takes longer than you might imagine. If you can imagine, the Senate has lots to do, and sometimes it feels like they're not super efficient at getting those things done. So it's been a while that I've been waiting. But as I've been waiting, I've been very busy with CalABLE. As I mentioned, we just went through a significant change, and I wanted to share some of those things with you today. But before I get started with sharing my screen, I would love to know, either by raising your hand, throwing your voice out there, putting up a smiley face reaction. How many of you are familiar with CalABLE? You've heard of us before. Would love to just get I see hands going up. However you want to share. that you know about us at least. That's good to know. I do plan to cover just a few of the basics. And I'm looking to share my screen. There we go. And hopefully you can see the slideshow. Can I give nods or thumbs up or whatever? Can you see? Okay, you can see the screen. Great.
It's in presenter view, it looks like.
I don't know how to change that. Let me stop the share for a second and reshare. As I sort of figure this out, it's not what I want to share. I want to share. How about that?
Perfect.
Looks good.
Okay, great. So seeing that a few of you know about CalABLE, I want to talk about some of the changes that we made. We've labeled this CalABLE 2.0. What I want you to know is that this is still the same CalABLE that's been around for the last almost 5 years. But we've made a number of changes that we think that we've significantly improved the program. So I'll talk of a little bit about some things, but I want to show you. This is one of our CalABLE ambassadors, Hector Ramirez. He's from Los Angeles, and Hector talked about how he grew his CalABLE account with gifts from family and friends. And he did it enough so to help buy himself his first home, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath mobile home. So this is a person whose life absolutely changed just by being able to save. And he did it enough to get into a home of his own, something that he never thought that he would be able to do. And so just to give you an idea of what is CalABLE, we are a tax-advantaged savings and investment program that's designed to help people with disabilities achieve their financial dreams. It comes from the Federal ABLE Act. The Federal ABLE Act is a change to the IRS tax code that allowed for states to create these specialized savings accounts that when you save and grow your money in a CalABLE account, you don't pay any income tax on that growth. You can access the money whenever you need to for qualified expenses. And so you can save and grow your money. You can spend it whenever you need to. And it doesn't affect your ability to qualify for federal government programs like SSI or SSDI. Won't interfere with those at all. And so in order to sort of set the stage, I thought I'd talk about some of our most frequently asked questions, like who can open a CalABLE account? What can I spend the money on? How do I access the money? What can I do to maximize my account? And why you should choose to save in a CalABLE account. So starting with who's eligible. First and foremost, you have to have a disability, and that disability had to begin before age 26. We use the same definition of disability that the Social Security Administration uses. So if you meet eligibility criteria for programs like SSI or SSDI, and your disability began before age 26, you're automatically eligible to open a CalABLE account. And just so you know, autism is definitely one of the considered conditions in the Blue Book, or the list of compassionate allowances by the Social Security Administration. You are not required to be an SSI recipient in order to be eligible for a CalABLE account. As a matter of fact, if you're not on any benefits at all, you can still open a CalABLE account. As a person with a disability myself, I am a CalABLE account owner. I work full time. My earnings are too high to qualify for any government benefits programs, but I still see it as a very useful program to be able to grow my money in a tax-free way, and then still have access to use that money whenever I need to. But I did have to go through an additional step with opening my CalABLE account, and that's where I had to attest that I do have a disability. My disability began before age 26. That's all you really need to do in order to open a CalABLE account. So what can you spend the money on? You can spend the money on anything that helps the person with the disability to maintain or improve their health, their independence, or their quality of life. And so that's a very broad definition, right? But we'll go a little further to say you can spend it on things like education, housing, transportation, employment training and support, assistive technology, legal fees, health prevention and wellness, really just about anything that you can imagine. You can pull money out of your CalABLE account at any time without any additional fee to use that money, and you don't pay any income taxes on any of the growth that the ABLE account has had. How do you access CalABLE? CalABLE is an online program. And so in order to open a CalABLE account, you have to have web access. And so you go to calable.ca.gov, and you can sign up for your account. It really takes about 15 minutes to open the account. There are a couple of things that you should know. You're only allowed to have one ABLE account at a time. That includes ABLE accounts in other states. So you can't open an account here in California and then go to another state and open another account there without closing your ABLE account, or vice versa. The person with the disability is always the owner of the account. Why is that important? Because the money that's in the account belongs to that individual. It can either be managed by that person if they have the capability and the desire to access their own funds, or it can be the account could be managed by an authorized legal representative. That person can be a legal guardian or conservator. It can be a spouse or a parent, a sibling, a grandparent, or someone with power of attorney over the financial matters. It could even be a representative payee that was assigned by the Social Security Administration. And yes, SSI funds can go into CalABLE accounts. This is a screenshot of our new website. It's a brand new website, so hopefully it's a little more accessible and user-friendly. We also have introduced for the very first time, the entire website now is available in Spanish as well. But this is where you would go to open an account, and anytime that you needed to access your account, whether it's to move money around, choose investment options, etc., you do that all online. There are no bank branches to go to. As a matter of fact, if you went to your local Bank of San Diego or Wells Fargo or Bank of America and said, hey, I want to open a CalABLE account, they probably wouldn't know what you're talking about. This is only offered through the state of California or through other states, usually through their state treasurer's offices. How can you maximize the money in a CalABLE account? Well, there are a number of recommendations that I have, but first let me give you the basics. You can actually put up to $17,000 per year into a CalABLE account. And you can have up to $100,000. Again, it'll take you multiple years to build that kind of money up, but you can have up to $100,000 in a CalABLE account and still be eligible for benefits programs like SSI. If you are an SSI recipient currently, you know that typically they limit your savings to just $2,000. But with an ABLE account, you can far exceed that. By putting up to $100,000 in it. That money is disregarded when considering your eligibility for programs like SSI. If you're not concerned with benefits, you can continue to contribute and grow your CalABLE account till you have well over $500,000 in that account. Again, you have to keep in mind that once you've gone above $100,000, and if you were on SSI, you're not going to be able to continue that because your savings are too high. But it's a very, very significant savings that you can have above what is currently allowable. How can you contribute? I said this is an online program. It works a lot like online banking. So what you typically do is you log into your account, you can set up recurring contributions, you can set up direct deposits, even direct deposits of your SSI benefits. That's something that's brand new with the change that we recently made. You can have direct deposit from your employer go directly to your ABLE account. You can even make contributions by sending in a paper check to our new address. Yes, we are CalABLE. Our new address is to a Pennsylvania location. I know that sounds a little weird, but that's where our record-keeping clearinghouse is. You can mail a check directly there. You can choose to invest your money. So in addition to saving, we have an FDIC insured account that where you're guaranteed not to lose money, not attached to the markets. You can also choose one of our professionally managed investment portfolios. The great thing about these investment portfolios is that you have the potential to grow your money, and whatever growth that your money has is tax-free. As long as the money stays in the account, it's tax-free. If you pull the money out, as long as you do it for those qualified expenses, it remains tax-free. So it's the opportunity to build your wealth through compound earnings. And so we have a number of new investment portfolios with the change that we recently made. Previously, we had the FDIC insured portfolio, and then we had 3 other choices. Now we have 7 choices that you can make, and they're really based on your ability, your tolerance to take risk. So you may have heard the phrase before, with greater risk comes the possibility of greater reward. And so now you have even more choices. So we have the least risky portfolio, investment portfolio is called the income portfolio. It's mostly based on bonds. Bonds give you a guaranteed return, but you have to keep the money there for a longer period in order to achieve that. So it's less fluctuating with the market. If you go all the way down to the bottom of this, our growth portfolio is 100% based on stocks. And so if you are comfortable with the potential that your money could fluctuate on a daily basis as the stock market rises and falls, so can your particular investment, but it's the greatest opportunity to have a reward. And so this is where we think that CalABLE has the best potential. Is not only are you saving your money in a way that you couldn't, especially if you received benefits in the past, but the opportunity to grow your money over time. Now, these are investments, so that you have to be comfortable that there is a potential that you could lose money. But the reality is that investing is an opportunity to grow over the long term. There are fees associated with a CalABLE account. This is something that's new. Our fees have actually gone down. So there's an annual account maintenance fee of just $30 per year. That used to be $37. And then depending on what choices you make, whether you save or invest, there could be some additional fees. But with this example, we're assuming just a $3,000 balance in your account. So if you were saving, you're putting all your money in the FDIC insured portfolio, the maximum that it would cost you for an entire year of managing your CalABLE account is just $38. If you're investing, there's some additional fees related to investing, but the maximum that it would cost you is somewhere around $46. Now that's a significant decline in fees from where we were just a month ago. So again, this is an opportunity to grow your money, and through our new program administrator, we're able to charge less to be able to do that. We have a portal on our website that allows you to e-gift. It works sort of like the GoFundMe accounts, where you can ask folks to contribute to your CalABLE account. And those contributions don't count as additional income if you're receiving benefits. It won't count against you, won't lower your SSI payments. Again, you're limited to that $17,000 a year, but you can get help from others. And this is a great way that for family and friends that may want to help, but don't know the best way to do it, you can say, hey, if you can put money into my CalABLE account, that can help you plan better for the future. You can send out a link to let them know that they can contribute directly to your CalABLE account. They don't even have to have an account number or anything. You can set up the amount that they can, the maximum amount they can give you, all those things. We also have a prepaid debit card that can be used the same way that any Visa card can be used, where you can load money directly from your CalABLE account onto the card. You can use that card everywhere that Visa is accepted. There are ways that you can customize your spending, set where your card will and won't work, so you can avoid either using it in the wrong way, or you can avoid fraud. There's also new ways to track your account. You can have separate cards, one for the beneficiary, one for the authorized legal representative, and this is no charge to the account holder. There are no fees related to having the card. So for individuals who are working, they can actually contribute more than just that $17,000 a year into their CalABLE account, as long as they're working and not participating in an employer-based retirement program. You can actually contribute from your own earnings up to an additional $13,000 per year. So if you are one of those people who are working, not contributing to an employer-based retirement account, you can actually put in up to $30,590 in a single calendar year. Why should you choose CalABLE? Again, this is a savings opportunity. You can plan for the future. I've heard it described as the difference between saving for a rainy day rather than just being stuck out in the rain and getting wet. So this is an opportunity to really help folks. You have protected benefits. Your money is protected from Medi-Cal recovery. Family and friends can contribute to your account. Accounts grow tax-free. You can spend the money on items and experiences that improve your life, that make your life better, and you'll become a part of the CalABLE family. We have a campaign going on right now called We Are CalABLE. It's where we feel like you are part of the family and friends of the program. We're all united together to try to make lives better. In just the 5 years that this program has been up and running, nearly 10,000 people have opened up CalABLE accounts. They've saved more than $100 million. I think at last look, it was very close to $130 million. That number continues to grow And so you should be a part of that group of folks that are taking advantage of this fantastic program. You can get started today. Again, just visit calable.ca.gov to open up your account. You can contact us at any time. We have a customer service center. If you dial 833-CalABLE, anywhere between 6 a.m. and 5 p.m. We've actually expanded the hours of our customer service center. And if you're hearing impaired, you can call that number and we'll set up the relay service. So, and we have additional language capabilities available on that number as well. You can also follow us across social media. We have a YouTube channel with all of our information. We have a partner toolkit. If you know of a group of people that could benefit from CalABLE, you can register for that toolkit and share our information. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can request our brochures. Please like and follow us across social media. Our YouTube channel has many of our videos. We hold a monthly webinar series and share those as well. And this is the CalABLE team. We're a very small team that's covering the entire state. But feel free to reach out to us. Our email address, phone number are there. If you want to give a call and ask us questions, we're happy to do that. I'm also happy to take any questions. Before I stop sharing, I do have to give you our legal disclosure. CalABLE is a savings and investment program. Like with any investment program, there is the potential of risk. You could lose money, but please keep in mind that it does require some risk to take advantage of the opportunity to grow your money. So I have to share that with you to say that there is some risk involved, but I'm happy to take any questions if there's time.
Yes, absolutely. We have a lot of amazing questions. Okay, let's see. First question from Debbie. She says, "Hi, are the funds taxed upon withdrawal?"
So again, CalABLE accounts are tax advantage, meaning that you don't pay any taxes as long as the money is in the account. You don't pay any taxes on the growth of the account. And then when you withdraw, you still don't pay any income tax as long as when you use the money, you use it for those qualified expenses. And again, it's a very broad range of what you can use the money for, as long as you keep a good record of, hey, this is what I took the money out for, this is what I used it for, then you don't pay any taxes on it. So it remains tax-free. If you use your money for something that is a non-qualified expense, you can be taxed on that. But again, that would take an IRS audit of not the, like say, if you're opening the account for a child, it wouldn't be an audit to the parents, it would be an IRS tax audit for the owner of that account, the individual. So pretty low likelihood that something like that would happen.
It's good to nail down that piece of information. Okay, so Debbie also asked, are contributions and gifted contributions tax deductible?
So at this point, the answer is for CalABLE, no. There are some states that have been able to pass a state law that make gifts from third parties a tax deductible. We've tried to do that with the California state legislature. We've never been able to get far enough along in the process to have that passed. And so in certain circumstances, it may be worthwhile to look at other states' ABLE programs. There are some states, California included, where you're not required to be a resident of that state in order to participate in that state's program. If you're looking for that tax deduction, some states may offer a deduction, but again, it's a deduction for state taxes. So if you're not filing taxes in that state, that really won't benefit you. But hopefully in the future here in California, we can offer that deduction.
Mhm. Another question from Rodney. How often can you move the money around in the CalABLE?
That's a great question. So you can make the choice every time that you make a deposit, you can choose where the money goes. So an unlimited number of times based on when you make your deposit. If the money is already in the CalABLE account, you can move it between the different portfolios twice per year. So let's say you decided that you were very conservative, but you think that, hey, I want to try my hand at investing. You can move the money from the FDIC insured portfolio to one of our investments up to 2 times per year, or vice versa.
Mhm. Wonderful. And Rebecca Gonzalez, she said, is this information available on the CalABLE website?
It absolutely is. And again, if you have any sort of questions, and we're happy to share our slides. So so you can access everything that we've showed you, including our email and phone number. That's something that I'm very comfortable sharing with all of you. But everything that I talked about is available on the CalABLE website.
Yes, and we will be sending out a recap email that will go out by this Friday that has the slides attached. So thank you, CalABLE team. And this is also recorded and will be up on our YouTube channel, so you can access it at any time. Aaron said, had a question, says, the FDIC insured portfolio means that you will have no losses, meaning if I add $1,000 and the market goes down, it won't go down below $1,000?
That's absolutely correct. So FDIC insured portfolios are just like a savings account. It's not attached to the markets at all. It pays a small amount of interest. And so you will be earning a small amount of interest for putting your money in the account. Now, there are fees associated with the account. So your account, if you just put $1,000 in and just let it sit forever, again, it would take a long time, but the fees will ebb away at that money at about $38 per year. And so the idea is, if you want to grow your money, first and foremost, you choose one of the investment options. And then I would suggest putting in a regular contribution. Maybe it's monthly. I personally make a monthly contribution. Here, I'm a state employee. The state gets paid once a month. And so whenever I get my paycheck, I have an automatic payment going into my CalABLE account. And it's actually grown really, really quickly.
Fantastic. Nancy asked, how does CalABLE interact with medical?
Medi-Cal, I'm assuming that she's asking. And so CalABLE accounts are not counted for Medi-Cal eligibility. When you pull money out of your CalABLE account and spend it, it won't affect your Medi-Cal eligibility. So you get all of those protections with a CalABLE account. You may be familiar with previously when the federal law was passed that said that ABLE accounts, when a beneficiary passes away, any money left in an ABLE account could be used to reimburse Medicaid programs for any healthcare expenses that were spent on a beneficiary's behalf. Well, here in California, we passed one of those state laws that said that Medi-Cal won't seek to do that if you are a California resident with a CalABLE account. So that's one of the additional incentives that the state passed in order to really make it beneficial for you if you live here in California to open a CalABLE account.
Mm-hmm. Debbie also asked, is the education trade school a qualified expense? And Ann did say yes.
Absolutely, that would be a qualified expense.
Mhm. And are there details on where they can find more information on qualified expenses as a whole? I know we've done a whole lunch and learn on it.
Yeah. So again, keeping in mind the rule of thumb, which is if it helps you to maintain or improve your health, your independence, or your quality of life, it's a qualified expense. If you're worried because you receive SSI and you like, I don't want to do anything that will upset the balance of my benefit, the Social Security Administration actually has a posting on their website. It's called the Program Operation Manual System, or the POMS, POMS. And so if you did a Google search for ABLE accounts, Social Security POMS, you would actually see, and they go into significant detail of what are all the things that are considered qualified expenses. And they even give some examples of, in this case, this wouldn't be a qualified expense. And so since I mentioned that there are very few instances where there wouldn't be a qualified expense, let me give you an example. So let's say that you wanted to go to a trade school. And so you took money out of your CalABLE account to pay for that trade school. And then something happens and you decide, you know what, now's not a good time to go back to school. Maybe I'll go back next year. Unless you find another qualified expense to spend the money that you took out of your CalABLE account on, then the money that you pulled out for school and then decided not to go to school, that would become a non-qualified expense. And so in that case, you may, again, be taxed on any earnings from your account, taxed and potentially penalized up to 2.5% from the state government, 5% from the federal government. But the best thing to do would be to choose another expense. Well, I took this money out. I'm not going to spend it on education. Let me find something else that would be a qualified expense to spend the money on.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. We have a mom whose son, she says, my son, low income on SSI and SSA on Section 8 with mom. She says, can income earned from selling art online go straight to CalABLE account? So my son's Social Security, SSI, SSA is not affected.
So we've gotten that question a lot. And so the one thing that I want to make sure that we're very clear about is that CalABLE doesn't magically automatically turn income into non-income, right? I gave myself as the example. I earn income. I can't direct deposit my income into my CalABLE account and then say, well, in addition to my income, can I now get SSI benefits too? And so just putting the money into your CalABLE account doesn't then turn that artwork money into non-income. What it does, though, is it protects you from that resource limit, the $2,000. So if you're earning income, unless you're participating in one of the few SSI programs that allow you to earn some income, it's always going to count against your SSI limit as income. It just won't count in future months as you're holding the money in the account. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yes. Tina asked, if the child was diagnosed by the regional center, can the regional center verify the autism diagnosis versus Medi-Cal doctor?
You actually don't need a Medi-Cal doctor. Any doctor can write a letter that says this individual has condition XYZ. That condition likely began before their 26th birthday. We don't ask you to turn that letter into us. We just ask you to hold on to it. So you can actually get that from any physician. Doesn't have to be a Medi-Cal physician, it can be just about anybody, as long as it's a licensed physician. It could be, you know, a physician that treated the individual before they were a Medi-Cal recipient. So yeah, it can be anyone.
The same parent who asked the previous question, so we're kind of going back to it, but I want to make sure we're not missing any details. She said, if my son on CalABLE works part-time, can his employee place his earnings into the CalABLE account to be protected from SSI from being reduced and Section 8 housing being affected because of his earnings? He only wants to work 1 to 2 days a week.
Yeah. So again, keep in mind, if it's counted as income today, it will still be counted as income, even if you put the money into the CalABLE account. Even if you direct deposited the money into a CalABLE account, it's still counted as money, still counted as income. The biggest change, though, especially with a program like with HUD housing, is it's not sort of double counted. So when you pull the money out, HUD is not going to say, oh, well, there's additional income because you've pulled money out from another source. And again, you have the ability to exceed that $2,000. If he's earning, if he's working, not working a lot of hours, you may take the monthly deduction from earning from SSI, but you'll still be able to qualify for the program. You'll still be able to receive the benefits with the slight reduction, even if you are able to store that money up in an ABLE account.
She also asked, is there someone I can speak to by phone to get guidance about investments?
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
Is there someone she can speak to by phone to get guidance on investments?
Yeah. So unfortunately, we are not able to offer investment advice. That is something that we're prevented to do for legal reasons. We can't do that. We can, though, if you have questions that you, so we can offer education. We can't offer advice. So if you say, which one should I pick, this one or that one, I'll never be able to say to you, well, because you do this, you should, you know, put your money in our most aggressive portfolio. What we can do, though, is to say, here's what our portfolios are made up of. And so here are the things that you should consider when choosing an investment. So if you're planning on building money for the long term, and you want to hold the money in the account for the long term, you may consider something that will allow you to go up and down over time, because that gives you the greatest possibility to build up your wealth. But if you find that you're going to be putting money in and pulling it out on a short-term basis, you may want to consider one of our least aggressive portfolios. So if there's ever a time where you need the money, you're not pulling it out at a time where, you know, when the stock markets go up and down, you're not pulling it out at a downtime.
Another question from Tina. What are the restrictions to transfer college 529 funds into a CalABLE account?
That is a fantastic question. And so, yes, you are eligible to move money from a college savings plan to an ABLE plan. And the benefit of that is, where with a college savings plan, you can only use that money for qualified educational expenses. And if you move that money over to an ABLE account, you can use it in all of the flexible ways that ABLE accounts can be used. The only limitation to be able to do that is you're only able to move over up to that $17,000 per year limit. So if you had more than $17,000 in a college savings account, you'd have to do it over the course of multiple years. And we count years from January 1st to December 31st. So if you move money over today, let's say you move $17,000 over today, you have to wait until January 1st to be able to put in more money.
And Debbie asked, once a person starts contributing to a 401k, are they required to close the account?
No, not at all. You are eligible to have a 401k. So again, I have a pension, I have a 401k. I'm still contributing to my CalABLE account. You're just not allowed to take advantage of that able to work savings, the additional amount above the $17,000 per year. You're not able to do that in a year where you're participating in an employer-based retirement program.
Fantastic. Well, I want to be mindful about where we're going, so I think we can take one or two more questions from anybody. If you want to unmute yourself and say hi, I think it'd be great. Does anybody want to ask their question in person?
And Rebecca, these were
Hello.
these were.
I actually have a question.
Hi, Candace.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, thanks.
What's your
Thank you for this meeting. For the CalABLE account, like qualified expenses would like
I'm having trouble hearing you, Candace. You were breaking up a little bit.
uniforms be considered qualified expenses as well? Like uniforms, anything like pertaining to school, education wise, that would be.
Absolutely. All of those things are qualified expenses, whether you're buying uniform. Let's say if you have a student that is in band and you want to buy an instrument or even music lessons, all those things would be qualified expenses.
Okay, thank you.
fantastic? And let's see. There's one.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
401ks, well, no, not 401ks, but like IRAs, Roth and traditional. As my child gets older, how does that affect the CalABLE? Or does it?
If you wanted to move money from an IRA into a CalABLE account, you would have to liquidate it, right? So you would have to take the tax hit to be able to roll over. The only thing that you can put into a CalABLE account is cash. So you can't like move stock or property or a Roth IRA into a CalABLE account. But just having a Roth IRA account, it doesn't affect your ability to have a CalABLE account or not. You just aren't protected in the Roth IRA from benefits eligibility. That will definitely could count against your eligibility for a program like SSI.
Thank you.
And Christine, go ahead.
Hi, I just you touched on it for a minute ago. You were explaining that the Medi-Cal benefits that were paid to the state would no longer be reimbursed by the CalABLE account when the participant dies. Is that right?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. When was that change done? That's a great change. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it was 2017 that the law was passed. And so what it says is, so the way the federal law was written, it said that that when a beneficiary passes away, Medicaid may file a claim to reimburse itself. And so we passed a law, I believe it was 2017, that said that Medi-Cal won't file a claim to recover that money as long as you're a CalABLE recipient, a California resident with a CalABLE account. We won't.
So that was the only
Medi-Cal
negative
won't
that I
file
had.
claim.
that was the only negative that I kind of had beside restricting your money and potentially going through an audit. Is there any other big negatives that I'm missing?
You know,
You can say
that
no.
is the one that, and the true answer is no. And I don't necessarily think that that was ever a real significant concern. But I know that a lot of people came to me and said, hey, why would I want to give my money back to Medi-Cal? But there really only ever were very limited circumstances where that was able to happen. I don't see any other significant drawback to having a CalABLE account, even if you're not receiving benefits, but could one day consider being on benefits. You won't have to liquidate a lot of money just to be able to qualify.
Thanks.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to go ahead and be mindful of everybody's time and stop it here. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us directly, and we can forward your questions to Dante. I will be sharing the recap email to everybody as well with Dante and the CalABLE team's contact information, so you can get a hold of yourselves. And
what if there was one really quick question? I see somebody like chomping at the bit to ask it.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, let's do it. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I have a CalABLE account. It's been wonderful. My son was in an accident, so I was able to put money in there, be able to have more than $2,000 for my son. Now, when I've never pulled money out of the CalABLE account. Do I have to, every time I pull money for an expense that is allowed, do I have to notify Social Security and HUD housing, state aid for food stamps that I've used? Because on HUD housing, they always ask you, have you purchased a new car? Say I am able to do that, and I do. Do I have to disclose, yes, I took it from a CalABLE account? Even though I didn't tell them, I do have a CalABLE account.
Yeah, there's no requirement that you inform someone every time you take money out of your CalABLE account. You should keep a record, though, in case they ever say, hey, we want to take a look at your CalABLE account and see what you've been using that money for. As long as you have receipts and a note to say, this is what I used the money for, you're perfectly fine. And I know that we're at time.
Yeah.
But please give me a call and I can talk to you directly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'd love to take a group picture of everyone. If you'd like to share your screens, we'd love to moment this in time. Okay, cool. I'll do a screenshot, so just go ahead and smile at the camera. Ready? 3, 2, 1, cheese. I love it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dante. Thank you, CalABLE team.
Thanks. Dana, let's talk soon.
Yeah, it was great seeing you. Thank you for this incredible information. It's great seeing everybody too. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.